Hi everyone, it is Howard the Condo Man, and today's video is a little bit different. I thought I'd talk about all the condominium buildings that I have lived in and maybe even owned in. I believe that I have lived and owned in more condominium buildings than most agents have sold for clients, and it has given me a very diverse experience and kind of an inside track as to what it's like to live in some of these buildings. So, when I first became an agent, the first building I ever lived in was 397 Front Street. It's called Apex. It's built by Concord. I had a great view. It was a one plus den with the city and the water. I still own that suite today. And that was a great experience. There was a basketball court in the building. I made a lot of friends. Location sure has changed now, but there wasn't much there at the time. Believe it or not, there was a social director when that building first opened to organize parties for the residents. I must have got to know at least 100 people as acquaintances and friends over the 10 years I was there. I started my whole business. It was a great experience. Still until today, I would say that 397 Front has a little bit of a sense of community and is a nice building. And now it's, 22 years later, so it's kind of interesting. Um, I decided to upgrade myself in terms of units, and I moved into 55 East Liberty after that. At the time, Liberty Village was also quiet, ironically. Uh, that was fun. Also, I moved in there. Again, I made some friends. I had a couple of friends already moving into the building. I had sold 25 assignments or something like that, so I already had a client base in that building. And I enjoyed Liberty Village for what it was at that time. That was a beautiful unit, beautiful. Had an unobstructed view of the city and the water. And then buildings started to go up to the east. So I rented that place out. And then I decided to move up to an even bigger unit and a crazy view. Probably the nicest unit I ever lived in was in 300 Front. And it had a jacuzzi on my own private terrace, which was on the 47th floor. I loved that unit. The finishes were stellar. They had these, I'm going to say, 1 foot moldings on the bottom, solid oak doors, and just a huge terrace with a great view. My terrace got more sun and had a better view than the building terrace. But what I did not like about that building, it was very, very, very Airbnb. And it just felt like a hotel all the time, and I didn't enjoy that hotel feeling. So I did move from 300 Front, and then I moved to another building where I had an even bigger unit, no jacuzzi, no terrace, and that was 65 Bremer. The space was beautiful. The location was very convenient in the winter because you could walk inside from the path. It's connected to the path. There's a Longo's downstairs. I do groceries all the time, so that was really convenient. The only thing about Brenner, it also had a bit of coldness, similar to 300 Front, where there was no sense of community, and there was quite a bit of Airbnb. Not as much as 300 Front at that time, but a lot nonetheless. So from there, I moved to another Tridel building, which was 38 Cameron Street. That's at Queen and Spadina. So I love Tridel Builder. I love that location. It's downtown, yet you can walk into what feels like a neighborhood. So it kind of combines the best of both worlds. That is the only Tridel building, to my knowledge, that doesn't allow short-term rentals, which was great. The security guards are very warm. The building was very small and intimate, so I didn't feel like a tourist. I had a huge terrace with that unit too, huge, like 1,100 square feet or something. That was a great experience. Probably my favorite unit building to date. Then I moved back to Liberty Village because the area had come such a long way in the 5 years I didn't live there. 6 years. So I love living in Liberty Village. Liberty Village is still my favorite area in the city. Um, I moved from there as well to the same unit I lived at 65 Bremner previously for a bit more space. I definitely like the feel of Liberty Village in Cameron better than Bremner. However, there's a very practical part of living at Maple Leaf Square, which is Bremner, that you're connected to the path in the wintertime. So I've had all these experiences and understand intimately what it's like to live in certain condominium buildings, which most people agents don't. And they can't really give you what that experience is like. Even as an owner, um, I've owned units in Matrix 361 and 373 front. I owned a unit in 60 St. Clair, which is a distant memory. 60 St. Clair was sort of weird. It was built to be a rental building, and then they turned it into a condo at the last minute. The maintenance fees they almost doubled in the first year, so that was not positive. Other than that, I like the building. It's small, has a nice feeling. I own an 8 Park Road. 8 Park Road is an extremely convenient location. It's almost a secret building. It was built on top of the bay about 20 years ago. It's connected to the path. It's connected to a Longo's. It's connected to a really nice Good Life. Um, 8 Park Road is a nice building, I gotta say. Good place to own. Maintenance fees are still low. Where else have I owned? I still own a 25 Telegram Muse, which has very low maintenance fees. I have to say, for residents there, I think the elevators are very slow. But as an owner, it's been, a great building. As a landlord, it's been a great building. I've owned at 81 Navy Wharf, which was a good building to own in. I've owned in 10 Navy Wharf, which was a good building to own in. Um, I've owned in I've probably owned in 30 different buildings over. I've owned in 38 Joe Schuster. That was not the best building to own in. It had a very rough crowd at the beginning. But what I can tell you that is very much an inside scoop is that smaller buildings often have a much warmer feel than big buildings. In particular, smaller buildings that don't allow Airbnb versus big buildings that allow Airbnb, it takes away all the warmth and feeling of home that you would get from a building which has the same residents all the time. That's really the biggest thing that I can tell you that my experience has led me to understand and see. And it really takes an agent who's inside to understand those living nuances. Anyways, if you're looking to buy, it is an incredible time. I keep saying that. It's maybe the best time. Text me at 647-892-6636, or email me. You know what? Why don't you email me at howardscondos@gmail.com. I've been hearing that my other email address is not working and I need to check it. Again, Howards with an S at the end, condos@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to help you. Happy holidays!